With just over a week before changes to Michigan's minimum wage were set to take effect, the Senate has reached a bipartisan compromise to save Michigan's tip credit. Our David Tack has been following the story from the very beginning and joins us now. And David, this bill different from what was passed by the House last month.
That's right. In January, we told you House Republicans passed a bill that would essentially keep the tip credit exactly where it is right now, at 38% of the regular minimum wage. This bill, just passed by the Democrat-controlled Senate, takes a slightly different approach.
These two issues were supposed to be vetted during a rigorous campaign and decided by voters on the ballot, but that didn't happen due to an unconstitutional maneuver from the legislature.
The fight over the minimum wage dates back to a Supreme Court decision in late July. We told you that decision is set to increase the minimum wage to $15 per hour by 2028, as well as phasing out of the tip credit entirely. It's a change that restaurant owners and many tipped workers were not in favor of.
Over the last several months since the decision last summer, Senate Republicans have been calling for a fix of the Supreme Court decision to save 50,000 jobs, to save 1 in 5 local restaurant businesses.
After the House passed one potential reform back in late January, Senate Republicans and Democrats worked to find a compromise. They settled on a change that would slowly increase the tip credit to 50% of the minimum wage by 2031, in addition to shortening the time it would take the regular minimum wage to reach $15 per hour by 1 year.
But when it comes to saving Michigan jobs and keeping our local restaurants and bars and business, we can't make the perfect the enemy of the good.
Despite being brought to a vote in the state's Democratic-controlled Senate, only Majority Leader Winnie Brinks and 7 other of the chamber's 19 Democrats voted to pass the bill, joining the majority of Republicans.
It does have an increase on the minimum wage year after year. Once it gets to $15, that $15 will actually be 2 years earlier.
And of course, we're not quite out of the woodwork yet just because a compromise was reached. This issue still has to go back to the House for approval before it can be signed by the governor. Still, I spoke with the owner of Lightning Rounds in Lapeer who says this compromise, it's not enough. I'll have more from him coming up on ABC 12 News at 6. In studio, David Sackreiter, ABC 12 News.